What's up, Kabroda crew? Welcome in. Thanks for joining. Hopefully y'all are doing well today and you're back ready to check out the charts, see what's going on today. Yeah, hopefully you had a good weekend though, and yeah, it's been somewhat sunny here. We've had a threatening of rain for a little while now, so we've had like sunny-ish, and then it'll be cloudy for a while, and then we kind of be sunny, so kind of off and on. And it's been pretty humid here, just kind of hanging around. But overall, pretty nice little weekend, nice weather, good time to get outside, kind of hang out, get a little tan on. Before summer completely gets here. Definitely here, it's definitely a good time, to kind of get out and get summer going when it's not quite as hot, not quite as warm. In terms of, because when it gets to like real summer, it gets real hot, and then it's real hard to get outside and really stay outside for a while. So right now it's kind of the better temperature where you kind of get used to the heat for one, and then also just enjoy being outside and getting the suntan. Welcome in. It looks like we have a couple people already here, so thanks for joining us. Kathy, thanks for joining. Terry, thanks for coming and supporting our live. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it really helps our channel out. Let's jump in. We got to check out last week's trade. We were kind of talking about taking the short on last week's live stream on Thursday, and we'll just kind of show you how that played out. So we thought it was going to drop down a little lower. Our main target was around 60,800 level, but it didn't end up quite dropping quite as far. So if you kind of just pulled it day of, obviously you wouldn't have gotten out right there, but maybe you got out, I guess you still could have gotten out pretty perfectly, like right there or even here. It went all the way into Friday in the morning. You could have kind of just gotten out pretty much any time on Friday morning, and then we kind of started breaking back up and ended up breaking all the way back up, would have hit you out on your stop. But if you traded it exactly to the system, you would have gotten taken out on one. It just didn't quite hit target two. So you made money either way. It's just if you kind of just pulled all of it, realizing we're not going to drop down any lower, or just saying well, it's the end of the day, so I don't really want to trade into tomorrow, so I'll just pull it. You'd have made a little bit more, or you would have made more money, obviously, because you wouldn't have had to take a little hit from getting your stop loss hit, a hit into your profits that you already made, I guess I should say. So overall, pretty good trade, pretty good call on the system. We got a little bit of a drop, nice overall call. Great to see it make us some money. But yeah, that's what we were talking about on Thursday. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little update on what happened and what we were kind of looking at. I believe the stop was a little farther out. I think I moved it when I was looking at moving my own stop on my trade to kind of be a little more in the profit. So that way, if it did come back up and hit me out, I could have gotten out a little earlier. We did end up taking it. I don't think we took it perfectly down here, but around this point, kind of in the morning on Friday. I want to say I was actually looking at it right on this candle, but I wasn't getting the bottom. I was looking more up in this range, so. Not like the best ever exit, but not too bad. Nice little profit though. After that, Friday was kind of more or less sideways, had a little bit of an up move, but nothing really the system was calling. Saturday was pretty similar. Yeah, pretty similar. And then Sunday, really nothing. I believe these are actually, or no, these are Monday's levels. So Sunday we kind of just sideways again. A little bit of a spike down, a little bit of a spike up. Nothing really happened. Coming into Monday, we had these levels. Again, staying down sideways. So kind of broke off to the top side. Nothing really happened there. Broke down. Ended up breaking out of this around 12 o'clock last night, and kind of breaking down. But overall, you know, nothing really in the way of trading on any of those days. So, you know, just nothing the system's calling, I guess. Nothing y'all missed out on. So we'll have to jump in it today and see what we got going on. See if there's anything maybe different in the market today, or see what's going on. Still definitely in the longer term moves we've been talking about. There's definitely a lot happening. So we're going to go ahead and grab our levels from on here and see what's going on. So we'll head on over here to Kabroda.com. We got our market radar here with BTC showing up at a 5 out of 5 bearish. We're looking exhausted on the time frame. The jewel is aligning with that, and then we got a stand down on the multi-agent system. So you know, overall probably not gonna be anything too great today. The breakout level is at this right here, 62,569, and then your breakdown level is at 62,197. So we'll go ahead and copy those and throw them on our chart, see what they look like. We want this one. All right. So this is what we're looking at today. Just looking at the lines, so you can see that we're more than likely going to get a breakdown today. You can see that we have our 30-minute range right here on the bottom, pretty close to that breakdown line. We do have some pretty big support right here on the daily, where the blue dashed line is. So that could be a possibility of, you know, we've already kind of broke down and hit the level that we were going to hit, and maybe we'll just trade sideways throughout the day. Overall, your top, wow, okay, actually, you know what, I did not even realize that your top breakout line is right there too, so pretty close to the levels. It's actually pretty small gap. So in terms of, you know, maybe looking at this and saying, well, maybe we won't break out hard, just because the gap is so small between two levels, that could be a factor there. So our gap is only a just under 60%, 0.60% gap. So really not too interesting here on possibly breaking down to the downside. I don't know. Your daily resistance though is way up here above all of the moving averages, so we'd have to clear through pretty much every line of defense before we can flip to the other side, and probably not very likely we get that. I guess there's the possibility, you know, you never know, but more than likely we're going to see downside action before we see upside action. We are looking a little overextended. You know, we're seeing some beast modes kind of firing. I guess we did get a negative beast mode candle there, so kind of broke down. I was saying, you know, this is the top here. I guess it kind of called this, but that's typically what you'll see is you'll call it, and then we'll get a higher high, and then it will drop down. So you kind of called it here. So possibility we break down and get down a little bit farther, and then start running to the upside again. Yeah, right now definitely looking more to the downside, but again, we are showing some signs of bottoming as well. So, you know, just looking at this 15-minute, there is a little bit of conflict. It'd be hard to kind of take this in full confidence, because you do have, you know, both conflicting there. So we'll go ahead and check out Kabroda.com, see what the daily brief says about today, and see what's going on today, and see if there's any kind of trades or anything like that. And I mean, we kind of know it's a stand down today, but we'll see what the system says. So, you know, without further ado, we'll head back to the website And we've got our cockpit open, so right here. Got the analysis brief here. And normally we'll kind of read through this. We're going to try something a little different today. We're actually going to use, I'm going to close this for a second. We're going to use the article version of it. So maybe it'll sound a little better. It'll be a little easier to read. Let's see, make sure we get the right one today. All right, so this is what we're, I kind of showed this before, but this is kind of the idea of what we're throwing around with, you know, releasing to everybody. This would kind of be what you would get in the mail, or not in the mail, but in your email, or maybe, you know, website. I don't know how exactly we're going to do it yet, but basically you'd get this, and this was kind of what it looked like. You'd have your little title there. It'd kind of tell you a little bit about the market, kind of give you a breakdown. It'd give you different ideas and things just about the market. Not really telling you exactly what the trade is, just kind of giving you a little breakdown, a little more information, so then you can go ahead and make decisions by yourself with your system. I believe it does talk about, you know, our system and how it's thinking that you could possibly trade today, but it's not going to give you any kind of financial advice or anything like that. It's just for informational, educational purposes only, as you can kind of see at the bottom here. All right, excuse me. All right, let's read through this, kind of get this breakdown. So BTC is seeing compression at 62,200, and that's forcing structural stand down. So like we said, already seen and know that it's a stand down, which means we're not going to be trading today, just based off of how price action and stuff is. It's better to, it's essentially saying it's a better idea to stay out of the market because there's a lot of confliction, or, you know, different things happening. We'll kind of read through it and it'll give you a little more information. All right, BTC is compressed to that 62,200, and that's forcing structural stand down. Bitcoin sits at that 62,366, pinned inside a 0.59% session box between 62,203 and that 62,479. Directly beneath the 24-hour volume weighted price density clusters at 62,507. Two independent structural veto conditions are active simultaneously. No trade is issued for this session. So, I guess there you go. In a little usurp, that's kind of what we're looking at. So break it down even farther, the structural picture, we have bear wave 4 still in that 18.2% completion off of wave 3 low at 60,055, with price reversing from an overnight high of 65,550 and grinding back towards the structural origin. The microstructure is bearish with strong conviction across every time frame from the weekly through the 15-minute. The critical threshold remains at 60,055. A confirmed weekly close below that level, it activates bear wave 5 with structural map pointing towards the 42,000 45,000 zone. The Elliott wave parameters remain subject to weekly verification. So essentially, you know, we are waiting for the weekly to close below the 60,055 level before we confirm that we are in fact going into bear wave 5. As of right now, we're still in bear wave 4 until we either break that 60,000 level or we go up above the 80,000 level. It actually didn't mention that today, but it's like 80,160 something, I think. Essentially, unless we go up above 80,000, we're not gonna be really changing our minds. It's still in a bear wave 4, and we're still looking for that drop into bear wave 5, where we can continue to the targets of 42,000 to 45,000, or, you know, around 50,000 is what we've been kind of saying. The market sentiment today. The fear and greed index reads 23 out of 100, which means we're in extreme fear still, a historically depressed reading associating with the institutional accumulation zones and prior cycles. This leaves this level of sentiment Compression is noticeable, yet it conflicts with the dominant structural read. Price is not bouncing into fear, it is grinding lower through it. Sentiment and structure are not aligned today. Fear is elevated, but the structural bias is bearish, and no accumulation signals has appeared on any qualifying time frame. So essentially what it's saying is typically when you see fear come into the market, you're going to see buying start to happen, or selling, depending on which way you're going. Oh no, I guess buying is how it works. So if you see fear coming in the market, typically you'll see selling start to happen because people are getting worried, like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to zero, blah blah blah. Bitcoin's going to do this, Bitcoin's going to do that, essentially all of these negative terms. And so people are like, well, I should just get out of my Bitcoin and not worry about it when it drops. And so people start selling. Or start... Oh wait, sorry. That's what people are doing, I guess. And then other people are like, oh, we're going to buy because, so many people are so scared, might as well just buy. So it starts to go up. And then the cycle kind of starts to go back the other way into more of a greed aspect. Yeah. So yeah, you have that happening, and then you have structure showing that we're going to continue down, which is, conflicting there. So, yeah, and it's saying structure is conflicting just because, we're slowly just continuing down, even though, fear is continuing to rise and rise. Which, yeah, typically shows you that we're going to be in some sort of reversal pretty soon. So today's energy, we have a multi-timeframe directional coherence, that's intact. The 4-hour, hourly, and the 15-minute timeframes are all aligned to the downside, but the momentum engine is structurally compromised across all three simultaneously. 4-hour RSI sits at 33.88 in an oversold territory with an extended cinematic flag, and the hourly RSI has compressed to 26.75, deep in oversold saturation, and the 15-minute structural is momentum exhausted at current extension with the cross time frame exhaustion active signal active. The selling structure is genuine, and the fuel to execute is not present. So we're seeing the downside, kind of showing that we're going to continue. We're seeing a lot of continuation stuff kind of come in, but looking at the longer time frames, there's not a lot of room for it to continue down much farther before we get some sort of bounce. Just going to get a little relief before we probably continue, more than likely. So the setup status. So the session is vetoed, structural energy insufficient for a valid trade. So like we just said, it's probably going to continue down, but we don't have the longer time frames kind of backing us on that, so we don't really want to be taking a down trade if we don't have, the wind at our back, like I've kind of talked about before, or you're not going downstream right now. The stream's kind of stagnant, I guess, right now, and there's a possibility that you could get some flow happening, kind of coming back the other way, against you maybe. So you wouldn't want to try to, jump in and swim either way, because the flow could just come and take you out, could help you out, I guess, but it also could come in and ruin your day because it's going the opposite way that you are. That's essentially, why you're just gonna it's why you kind of just want to stay out of the way. So there's two independent veto conditions that fire simultaneously, and neither is borderline. First, the 15-minute grade is exhausted at current extension with the active cross time frame exhaustion signal. The hourly RSI is saturated at 26.75, and the 4-hour cinematic field is extended. Multi-time frame exhaustion is present across all three qualifying indicators at once, and we are entering a short here. Risk a whip size stop out before the price commits directionally. So like I said, the current could come in, hit you the wrong way, and then the flow could kind of change. So I don't know. I guess it's not much like any river I know of, but it's kind of how the trading river works, I guess. Secondly, session box measurements at $371.70, representing a 0.59% of the lower structural boundary at 62,107. This falls below the 1% minimum box floor mandated by the performance auditor following last week's calibration review. So essentially, we need a larger gap between the two levels. So, you know, how we were kind of measuring out the gap there earlier, it's saying you need about a 1% gap or larger before you want to see any kind of, you're going to see any kind of good momentum coming out of it. As of right now, our gaps, I think we said pretty close to that 60%, 0.60%. So, you know, I'm just rounding up, but if you want to be exact, it's like 0.59% like we just read. So it's not close. Between 0.5% and the 1%, that produced 0 correct calls across 3 attempts. Structural path to the target below is unobstructed. The field state is not ready. So essentially we have room to drop to the downside, but there's not a lot of wind kind of coming in behind you to show that we might go to the downside. So it's not really something we want to be looking at. Throat's pretty dry today. Gonna drink lots of water. Lots of water. Alright, so the session becomes structurally tradable when the 50-minute cinematic grade resets from exhausted to directional velocity. The 1 hour or the hourly RSI recovers above that 30 from its current saturation floor, and the session box expands above the 1% threshold. All 3 conditions are currently failing. Confirmed breakdown through the lower structural boundary at 62,197 on a reset. 50-minute grade with an large range reopens the short setup. The first target at 62,826, second target 61,596, and the final target of 61,224. Remaining on the structural map available the moment the energy state returns the entry. So essentially, you know, we could see a breakdown here. Kind of weird that... Oh, okay. Yeah, nope, I was reading that wrong. So you get a breakdown. It's not really much of a breakdown, you know, even going to target 3. Not much of a drop, you know. $1,000 for Bitcoin is not a whole lot. I mean, I don't even know what that would be percentage-wise. 62,000. So for Bitcoin, that's about a 1.5% drop down. So if we were to look at that on our chart here, we'll see we get the breakdown here. I believe it was 60,197. So right at our breakdown line, we'll just say the stops there. When you get your breakdown, you're going down to 60. Target 3 is at 61,224. So right around there. So not too bad, 3 to 1 at a target 3. Target 2 would be around that 61,500. Somewhere like that, 2 to 1, and about a 1 to 1 for target 1. So, you know, not too bad. It wouldn't be too bad of a trade, you know, if we were able to trade it. The only issue is, like I said, you don't have a lot of, you know, wind at your back. The gap is just too small. Essentially, you're less likely to make the trade because of the gap of the lines. You know, there's just a couple different things that are not necessarily. I mean, there's things that are against you. There's things that are for you. And so you kind of just have some confliction there. You know, there's not a whole lot of straight down, straight up. It's just confliction. So you want to make sure that you're not taking either one, really. So you're better off to just kind of stand down, stay out of the market, stay out of the way, and not get taken out by the river, basically. Performance ledgers, most recent trades, go to blah blah. Nothing, and it doesn't really matter. I don't know what trade it got stopped out of. One win, one loss. So we got our risk advisory. So price is holding inside the 62,197 to 62,569 session box through the first 30 minutes of the New York session with no range expansion. It's a structural veto condition. No trade is valid in this scenario. Yeah, so essentially we did hold inside that box. 15 minutes thematic grade, remaining exhausted on any retest of the lower structurally boundary at 62,197. Negates the short setup regardless of directional conviction on higher time frames. Any long attempt above 62,569 is a counterstructural fade against a confirmed bearish continuation environment with risk appetite suppressed. DXY bullish at 101.28 and VIX elevated at 20.31 or 1.13. Wow. The structural map does not support it. So essentially, got a couple things against this. Probably, it's telling you to watch out for those. And yeah, basically, there's not a whole lot going on trade-wise today. Definitely a lot of things kind of coming in to be watching, be mindful of, and just, yeah, not a whole lot of room to take any of the trades because they're not really set up at all. So kind of just hanging around, again, waiting for possibly tomorrow, seeing what we got there. But as of today, it's more of a sit back, kind of relaxed day. And this is what the system's kind of designed to do. It's designed to keep you out of the trades that are not very likely to happen and help you get into it when they are more likely. Let you know, I guess, when the market is more likely to fire to whatever side. So, it's not a bad thing to sit down. If you're following the system says stay out, and you stay out, then it's not a bad thing. So that's what we're going to do today, is kind of just hang out, wait around. Yeah, just kind of enjoy the day. Work on some other things, work on some learning, watch some different videos, kind of get a little better trader eyes, maybe do some practice on the charts. But really, other than that, there's not a whole lot you can really do in terms of looking at the market and seeing what's going to happen. Not a whole lot. Yeah. Thanks for coming, though. Thanks for checking us out. We will be live again tomorrow, kind of checking out the market again, seeing what's going on, seeing where the market's at. Seeing what kind of happened today and kind of talking about it. But yeah, that's really it for today. So yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button for us, helps us get our videos out to other people, and other people will see the live stream, kind of just get in here so we can kind of show them what's going on, what we think of the market, and hopefully help them out, see what their opinions are. Just gets us into a position of kind of showing more people our stuff and showing more people some knowledge about trade, and hopefully helping them on the road to financial freedom. So yeah, again, thanks for joining, though. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell notification if you want to make sure you catch us tomorrow. But other than that, we will see you all tomorrow, and yeah, just have a good one today. Don't worry about sitting on your hands, like we said. Should be a pretty good day. So thanks for joining. Happy trading, y'all, and we will catch y'all tomorrow.